What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the one-on-one series presented by Fandoms Anonymous. I have the lovely Andrea Agosto here with us today. How you doing today, Andrea?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. So TikTok is the new networking scene for me, and I have scheduled right now a whopping 3 interviews for this channel just by watching people on TikTok. I'm not joking. It is the new networking site. I've even met somebody who was an illustrator for Marvel and DC. I'm going to interview this man too. So yeah, the world is moving. TikTok is the new platform for networking. And that's how this interview came to be. I scroll through TikTok. As you guys know, we talk about a lot Power Ranger stuff here. You know, look at the wall. It's very prevalent. You know, it is what it is. And we travel all over conventions all throughout the southeastern United States, and we've met a lot of the Power Ranger actors. But I'm just scrolling through TikTok one day, and I'm scrolling, and I see one of these videos, and it was like, you know, the video with the little blinks when people are pointing and they're trying to tell you something, and Miss Agosto here saying, I just auditioned for Power Rangers. I'm like, what? I've never met anybody or talked to anybody or even known anybody who's auditioned for Power Rangers. I just know the Power Ranger actors that I've met, but she has many other talents as well. So we're not just here to talk about Power Rangers, you know, even though that would be amazing. We're not just here to talk about Power Rangers. So I want you to tell the people who you are, what you do, and why you do it, because that's what the one-on-one series is all about.
All right. Well, my name's Andrea Agosto. I am an actress. I am a photographer, artist, I teacher. I do it all, or as most of I can. And I love art. I just can't stop art. It's always been a part of me, and I just keep branching out into different forms of it. And TikTok is becoming the new art form that I'm obsessed with right now. Right. So that's pretty cool. So it's something that always keeps me going and keeps me learning. Anything that can keep me learning and piquing my interest, I'm always going to keep trying to improve. So that's one of the things that I love about things like acting, because no one's perfect. There's always a way to improve. There's always a way to make things better. So love it. That's why I work on it.
So what made you want to get into acting in the first place? Or I guess this will be a two-part question. One, what made you get into acting? And two, what was your first niche that you found yourself in? For me, it was music. It was band. It was 7th grade, picking up a tuba for the first time. And I still play the tuba to this day. But I would say that this is my second niche. But what was your first one?
Well, so my first niche, I have no idea how to say this word ever. So my first one was actually art, just visual art. You know, I loved to draw as a kid. My dad drew, and so we shared that, and it was something that we had in common. And of course, I moved on to music as well, because my dad played clarinet, so then I played clarinet. I'm a daddy's girl, in case that's already not apparent. So that kind of started that, and then I started looking at TV. I'm like, I could do that. I could act. I could figure that out. And so I started wanting to do that more. And it wasn't until high school that I really got any opportunities to do any kind of theater or acting. So I had actually auditioned for our school musical, and I think I sing fine, you know, but my voice crack was, ugh. So I knew I had to like really make up for it in the acting portion in order to get cast in the musical. I was like, well, you go cast me, so I'm gonna act my butt off. And so I kind of just went from there. And the teacher who was doing the auditions, she was just like, you know what, you should just join drama. And I was like, okay, sure. And then I did, and I loved it, and I loved that teacher. Like, it became a big part of my life. Obviously I still do it, and I also teach drama. So I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving for me. It's something that I can keep sharing. So yeah.
I think for me, like you said, you're a daddy's girl. I'm more of a mama's boy, but I still have traits from my dad. When I first started playing tuba, I played drums. So my uncle, he played drums at church, and I've always idolized my uncle. And watch him playing drums, and I just picked up playing drums. But it's like you wonder, like, I didn't just do this. It has to be some type of genetic disposition. My uncle is not my dad. So where did this download come from? So I go 7th grade, I signed up for intermediate band. I'm like, oh yes, intermediate band, because I went to a regular public school in 6th grade, and I got into a magnet school in 7th grade. So I was like, yeah, intermediate band. I know how to play the drums. I watched Drumline. I play drums at church for the youth choir. I got this. Walk in, teacher says, can you read music? No. Put you in beginner band. So put me in beginner band, took every mouthpiece in the box, and the only one that fit was the tuba mouthpiece. And here I am, still a tuba player. But it took my dad to like 8th, 9th grade. Oh yeah, I played trumpet when I was in the band. You tell me now? Like, I've been wondering for years, where did this come from? Because my mom could sing, my sister could sing. So of course that came from somewhere at some point, but where did this level of musicianship come from? And that was it. So I found that out. But that's an interesting story of you saying, like, you know what? You saw something, you said, you know what, I know I can do this. I might not have all the pieces together, but I'm gonna do it. And that's something that we love to hear with anything, with any story. I have a lot of younger people up under me who are always asking me questions, and how did you do this and do this and do this? And I always tell them, like, just do it. Just do it. Because if you never set out to do it, and it's a phrase I live by that my mom said, nobody can tell you anything. She says, can't nobody tell you nothing but no. If you never go out for it, you'll never know if you're going to get a yes. And if you get a no, that's fine, but you at least went out for it. You at least did that. You at least did that. So what would you say that you love most about acting?
I think I love learning about people the most when it comes to acting, because just by being a different person, by stepping into the shoes of another character, you're stepping into that mindset, into that time period. There's so much to learn. And I get to experience all of these different perspectives. I get to feel all of these different feelings. I get to see all of these different sides of humanity and not just my own. I love that acting makes me more empathetic. It gives me more empathy. It teaches me to be patient with others. It teaches me to be caring and understanding. I think that acting has basically helped me be a better person, a better human, and it's also been kind of my therapy. It's how I focus. It's how I meditate. So yeah, I think it does a lot for me.
And it's interesting that you say it's your therapy. Do you believe that it allows you to come outside of yourself and tap into another experience or another part of life and live in that world for a moment, where it helps you kind of escape? That way, when you come back and you're not in characters, like, you understand things a little bit more differently. Would you say it's kind of something like that?
Sometimes, definitely depending on the role and the story. Right. But for sure, it's a way to work through some emotions sometimes. For example, and I don't want to get too downer, okay? But for example, I was doing a show, and it was about the themes of church and religion and faith and hope. And during that time, my grandfather had fallen, pretty seriously ill, and this character that play had to make this prayer for her family. And every single time, the person that was in my head, of course, was my grandfather. So the tears that people saw were not forced. They were not fake just for effect. Those were things that I was feeling in that moment. But still, it was almost kind of simultaneously as myself and as the character, almost like an out-of-body experience to see all of that happen. But it helped me work through that. It helped me grieve a little before I actually got to the full onset stage of grieving. So it does soften the emotional blow for negative things sometimes too.
Most definitely. Now, you say you do a lot of photography as well. Is that another thing you picked up? Was like, I can do this. I'm going to go get a camera. I'm going to be a photographer.
Pretty much. I was like, I know how to make things look cute. Like, I can do this. So yeah, I got myself a camera, and it really started in college because I was studying film. I was actually majoring in film production and things like that. So I like to do all the production stills backstage and or behind the scenes. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, playing with shadows and things like that. And I moved on to, of course, portraiture, and that's mostly what I do. I've done a couple of sessions or coverage. I've done a couple of coverage dates at San Diego Comic-Con over the past couple of years with Geek News Network. So I have pictures of cosplayers, panels through them and as well. So obviously they trusted me enough, and I'm very, very thankful for it.
Right.
So that was cool. And, you know, things like that, taking pictures at cons. I do WonderCon, DragCon. DragCon's on my own. That's just for me. But I do WonderCon and San Diego Comic-Con when I can for Geek News Network. But other than that, I take pictures for other actors because we all need headshots. We know how that goes. And it's a really good deal because it's like we know each other. We know what we want from each other. Like I can ask you, do you want serious? What kind of roles are you going for? And that as an actor, it helps me to help them better. Like it's like, oh, I know how to do this because I know what the photographer should be looking for as the actor. It's really nice.
Being in that position and going to different auditions and turning in headshots, you're seeing the visuals of those people reacting, like you're seeing the face, and you're able to come back and not only help yourself but also help others as well, saying, look, maybe you should turn your head to the right instead of left and then turn that in. And what I'm finding out from a lot of other people that I've met along the years who do acting, a headshot is very vital in getting a role and not getting a role. How would you look at that way?
I actually have different headshots for different types of characters I go for. So it can make a world of difference. If I'm going for a comedic role, I have like this really kind of sweet face of mine, and I got my huge bouncy curls and I'm super smiley. It's like comedic. Cast me. Then it's for like my dramatic roles. It's more like, you know, I have this other photo of myself, very natural, but still heavy on the eyeliner. So I give a little bit more of an edge, a little bit older, more adult looking. That's for my dramatic roles. I'm trying to game the system any way that I can. And you have to sell yourself. And part of that is your packaging, and your headshot is part of your package. You got to make sure it's a good one, not like something that you've just done and it's kind of edited and it gets grainy and it's too filtery. You don't want that because they're going to see your face while you're performing or while you're on screen. And if you don't look the same, they're going to be like, what is this? They don't want to have to work too hard in post. So that's the other thing. Got to make sure you're honest with them as well.
I guess I can work on my serious headshot and be like, cast me. I'm serious. Now, I understand that you have a photography business as well, because we definitely want you to give you an opportunity to plug that. I know you said you do stuff for actors and you do stuff for other actresses, but what else type of things do you photograph?
I do family photos. I also do weddings. I do graduation photos. I did a socially distant graduation shoot earlier a couple weeks ago. That was very different because, you know, we're trying to observe all the guidelines and still make sure that these two people are in their memories together. Right. So that was a little bit of a different challenge, but honestly, it's kind of cool because it's a sign of the times. It is a moment in history right now. So those are going to be like historical documents in the future. Yeah. So that's really, really cool to have been a part of that. But yeah, I do a little bit of everything, babies, weddings. I even take pictures of performers, like street performers. They can pay me to take pictures of them. I'll just go around, do that for them, have everything uploaded, and they can download their images from there. It's pretty simple, straightforward, easy business.
That's awesome. That's awesome. 10, 20 years from now, kids going to be like, why is everybody standing away from each other in the picture? Well, don't ask me. Don't ask me, please. We won't talk about that. Now, what or how has COVID-19 affected you and your acting and what you do as an actress?
I think you cut out. Can you say that again for me? I'm sorry.
I was saying, how has COVID-19 affected you as an actress?
Well, a lot of self-tapes. Which, I mean, that's kind of the way the industry has been going for a while now, a lot of self-tapes, but now even more so. And I don't get as much heads up anymore. It's just like self-tape right now. My agent's like, you have like overnight to videotape an audition and get this to me. And as somebody who is very kind of a perfectionist when it comes to my auditions, I'm like, I like to take my time on them. So it makes me a little nervous, but you know, it's the nature of the beast. You got to go with it and hope you get something. And even now my agent, when COVID first hit and everything shut down, my agent actually asked me for a video that showed my video editing capabilities. She was asking that from all of the actors on staff because they were not sure how long this was going to last and if we would end up having to basically shoot and edit our own commercials at our homes. So that was also something that we had to prepare for, and we had to take pictures of all of our living spaces, what we could use, blah, blah, blah. Even now, I booked a gig, but it's still a socially distant shoot. There's limited people that will be allowed on set. There's specific guidelines, and it's my first in-person shoot in a few months. So this is going to be really interesting for me. That's coming up in a few weeks. So we'll see how that goes.
Most definitely.
I don't know.
It made me wonder how the industry, especially the acting and the movie industry, was still going along with everything that's going on, because some stuff is still filming, and and that's good to know that there's limited people on set and here and there, because of course everybody's waiting on the Mandalorian season 2, and Disney was like, it's coming out. We said it's coming out in October. It's coming out in October. So like, so are they filming? Like, what are we not going to get Mandalorian? Or are we not going to get our favorite shows? So that all brings me to one of the questions I have for you. How did you get to the point to audition for Power Rangers? Let me just tell you, me and Power Rangers, we go all the way back to 1993. If you would have told 8-year-old me sitting on the sofa playing Nintendo 64, look kid, in about 15 years, you're going to go to conventions all over everywhere and actually meet the Power Rangers, interview them, talk to them, and some of them are actually going to remember you the next time you go to a convention. I would have grabbed a pack of cheese and be like, hey man, leave me alone. I'm trying to play Mario 64, man. You get that riff-raff on. So it's a journey. It's been an awesome journey for me. But what made you want to? I can tell you're interested in the sci-fi stuff. What made you want, especially going to Comic-Con? But what got you into going out for that role?
So I do a lot of weird stuff around locally San Diego. I'm normally the go-to actress when they need somebody to play a crazy person. And I mean, it is what it is. I'm a good character actress. I mean, if you're known for something, at least it's known for a good acting skill. So I'm known for doing that. And then my agents, they knew that, and they had heard about the auditions, and they were like, you should totally submit to this. And I was like, are you okay? And I looked at the script and I was like, oh my God. So I don't want to say too much, but I will say that the sites were leaked. They are available if you look on Twitter. Right. Everything's available online now, but I don't want to say too much because they did not release the names on the online casting stuff. Of course. But it's an alien sidekick, and they even described a slapstick comedy duo. And for an actress who likes to do theater, I had to completely change my acting style. Right. Because this is also, at heart, a show. It's an entertaining show. So I had to ramp every single thing up. And it was actually really exhausting. I had to dance out of control for way longer than I wanted. That was part of it. I don't want to say any more than that. Right. And it was exhausting. I was out of breath at the end of the audition. I could barely say thank you. I almost forgot to say thank you. It was that exhausting.
All right.
And that was only for, I was like
all right. So, good job, everybody.
But other people who were actually auditioning for the Rio Ranger roles, the main colors, they had to do fight scenes and fight choreography, and I was like,
that look a little bit more exhausting than what I just did.
Yes, I was like, I'm gonna stick with my dancing. Know how fun. Right. I was surprised. I was like, y'all are doing the most, but I'm cool. But
I'll just cosplay your character at Comic-Con. I don't have to do the fight scene.
It was insane. I was like, wow. And of course, I'm one of the shortest people there as well. So I was like, everybody's tall and they have long limbs, and that's just me also looking at, if you look on YouTube, you can actually find some people's audition videos. So you can actually find some of those if you're interested in seeing them. And some of them are like, wow, the production value is astonishing. Yep. So it's also good for any other people who are acting and want to see what that looks like, especially if you are interested in auditioning for Power Rangers. Look at those videos, see what they're doing, see how that they've edited them, why they're they do certain things with their bodies as far as turning towards the camera and from the camera. It's also because you have to think about the costuming. They need to see if you're going to fit the costume, all of that stuff. So it may look weird when you watch them, but you promise everything is done for a reason.
Because it means a lot, whether people know it or not. Come on, everybody, we're going to fight. That head turn is so important. If people don't get
and the lines they want, and the straight lines of the body,
Now, one question I have for you is to that little girl out there, especially that little girl that looks like you, that looks like us, what do you say to her who wants to act, who wants to do visual work, who wants to be a photographer? What is that advice that you give them?
Do it and don't listen to anybody who says no. They don't know you. They do not know your story. They don't know nothing about you. You can learn. You can pick up as much as you want. The internet is full of amazing resources as far as tutorials on all of those things. And if you want in-person stuff, there are also online classes. There are also meetups for when, the world opens up again. There are ways to network with people who are like-minded, who will encourage you and also keep you going and hold you accountable for following your dreams. But you can do it. Just got to keep pushing on.
Most definitely. My last question is one that we ask every episode here on the One-on-One series is, what do you think about the word consistency?
As an actress, I believe consistency is very important, especially if you're doing film. But in general, consistency also means reliability, dependability, trustworthiness. It grows from that. And if you can prove that you're consistent at something, people are more likely to trust you, to depend on you, and to rely on you with certain things. So I think that helps. I think consistency is also a way of developing trust.
Most definitely. We want to really thank you for coming out and talking with us today. Please let everybody know where they can find you all over social media.
All right, so my website is www.andreaagosto.com. So if you look, you can probably see my name pop up there eventually. AndreAGosto.com. My Instagram is andrea.agosto, AGOSTO.acts, ACTS. And then my TikTok, if you want to see that craziness, is Andrea Riquena, AndreaRiquUena. And that's it.
That's awesome. Guys, you know who we are. That's FANDOMSANONYMOUS. I didn't do that because you did that. That's what I do every episode. In my mind, I'm like,
I'm
oh
a
my
teacher.
God, it's going to be weird when I start spelling. She was like, he copied me. No, we actually do that. But you can find us all over social media, right here on YouTube where you're watching this, on Facebook, and also on TikTok. We do crazy stuff on TikTok. That's all I'm going to say about that. But thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys in another video.